Hi, this is Chris with the Plugin Pros, and in this video we're going to do a quick demo of our Table Rate Shipping plugin. So hopping into our admin side of our website, to get to the shipping options once you've installed the plugin, simply go to WooCommerce, Settings, Shipping, and then Table Rate Shipping. This will open up all of your admin options and we'll run through those real quick. Your first option here is Enable Disable. This just turns the shipping method on and off. So if you're having any issues or not able to see any shipping rates from your table rate options, make sure that this is checked. The next option is your tax status. This is going to determine whether or not you calculate tax on the shipping totals. And below that we have Include Tax and Exclude Discount. These are going to be if you're using the cart subtotals for your calculation method to determine your shipping. This will decide whether or not tax is also included and whether or not discounts are included in that calculation. Below that's going to be your display options, with the method title being what is displayed in the actual shopping cart to the consumer. You can put anything you want there, and then below that you've also got the option to just completely hide the method title if you don't want any additional labeling for that field. And finally, the last option here is Show Shipping Rates tab. This is going to be on the product page down next to the product information, and if you've got additional details tab, if you've got the variations tab, any of those tabs, this will add an additional shipping rates tab that shows the breakdown of that vendor's shipping fees. And finally, you've got your default tables. This is going to give you as an admin the ability to create some default shipping tables for your vendors. If your vendors don't go in and make their own tables, then whatever shipping rates you put in here will apply to their products. Some marketplaces will have just a set shipping for all of their vendors. This is a great way to do that. It's also a great way to make sure that your vendors do have some type of shipping charge should they not put in something for themselves. So if you want to go ahead and add a table, all you need to do is click Add Shipping Table. In the table name, we'll just call this Domestic. Got my caps lock on there. And for the countries, since we're based in the East Coast of the US, we'll just go ahead and do the United States here. And you have the option to add multiple tables, so if we wanted to also maybe throw Canada in there, we could. Or I'm sorry, multiple countries to a single table should you want to. And once you've got the countries in there, you can click Save Changes. Now you come right over here and hover your mouse next to the table name and you'll see three options: View, Edit, and Remove. View is going to open up the actual table options. So as we build our shipping rates here, our options are going to be to use the table, yes or no. If you don't want the table to be used in calculations for whatever reason, but you want to keep the table there, you can always toggle this to no, and that way it'll save that particular table without actually using the values to calculate shipping. Your handling fee is just going to be a flat per fee order, irregardless of what is actually in the shopping cart. If that vendor has any items at all in the customer shopping cart, regardless of the calculation method, this would be a flat fee that's applied on top of any additional rates that might come into play. Below that's going to be your calculation method. We've got three options. The first is the cart subtotal. That's going to take the total value of all of that vendor's items in the shopping cart and then base the shipping off that. The second is the number of items, which is just going to count the number of items from that particular vendor in the shopping cart and calculate value based on that, or calculate the shipping total based on that. And then your third option is total weight. It's going to take the total weight of the items from that particular vendor in the shopping cart and then calculate using that method. The only caution I would have for anybody wanting to use total weight is if a vendor doesn't put the weight in of every one of their products, this system will count the weight of that product as 0. So while it will consider it as a shipped item or an item to be shipped, it'll be like it's not even in the box. So that weight would just go in as 0, and that could cause some issues if you've got some vendors that haven't put the weight in for their product. So while total weight is a great way to get a very accurate shipping calculation, there are some potential drawbacks if your vendors aren't aware that they need to put the weight in. With that said, we'll just go ahead and use cart subtotal and throw a couple rates in here so you can see how it works. So once you've selected all that, you come down here to the bottom and click Add Rate. And I always say start with 0, because the way this works is it takes this value and above and applies the shipping rate. And it starts with the most expensive, in this case since we're using cart subtotal, and loops its way down to find the most appropriate rate. So we'll start orders of $0 or more. We'll do $15 shipping. and then we'll say orders of $25 or more, we'll do 17, and say maybe orders of $50 or more, we'll do 25. So the way this particular table would work is if a customer buys $50 worth of a vendor's products, they would be charged $25. Let's say they buy $30 of a vendor's product, they would be charged 17, because that 30 is going to be, you know, above 25 but below 50. And if they buy $10 worth of items, then you're looking at a $15 charge. Something else here, you'll notice this toggle, you have a $sign or a percentage. So if you change it to the percentage, what this will do is it'll take 15% of the subtotal of that vendor's items, and that's going to be how the shipping charge is calculated, not on a dollar value per se, on an actual percentage of the cart. So we'll go ahead and save this, and that'll save that table for us. Then if you want to add an additional shipping table, all you do is click Add Table, and you can continue to add as many tables as you'd like, depending on how many different countries you want to have. And each table can also have its own calculation method. So for instance, this domestic table we calculated on cart subtotal. If we create another, we could do it based on weight or item count. There's no requirement that each table has to use the same calculation method. One other cool feature of table rate shipping is the troubleshooting ability it gives you to help you work with your vendors and set up their tables. So let's say you've got a vendor that's having a tough time understanding how the tables work, or they're saying it's not working, shipping's not being calculated correctly, etc., etc. What you can do is you go to your users, and in this case, let's say it's Play Vendor that we've got here that's sent us an email saying they're having trouble. Well, you'll notice you've got an option here that says Edit Tables. By clicking on that, it's going to open up that vendor's tables. So now you're able to go in, not only see the vendor's tables, but manipulating them, you're able to see the tables as well as manipulate them without actually having to log in or spoof that vendor. So you can see they've got a table here for US shipping that goes to the United States. If we click View, we can see this vendor, how they've got it set up, where it looks like shipping is $5 as the base. If somebody spends 50 or more, they charge 15. And then if somebody spends 75 or more, they're actually giving away free shipping, trying to encourage customers to spend $75 or more. So to see table rate shipping in action, we're going to hop over here and we'll update this. So we've got this vendor, Play Vendor. We've got one of their items here at $25 in the cart, and you'll notice the shipping currently is set to $5, which if we hop over here and look back at their table, that makes sense because 25 is going to be more than 0 but less than 50, so that's going to put it at this $5 range. Now if we bump this up to 2 of these, that'll put our order total at 50, subtotal at 50, and you'll see the shipping jumped up to $15, which again, if we bounce back to this, orders of $50 or more is $15 in shipping, so it looks like we're dead on again. Now if we bump this up to 3, our subtotal is going to jump to 75, and you'll notice now it says free shipping, which again, hopping over and looking at this table, $75 or more, shipping total is 0. So that's how the free shipping would work. Now what we can do is we'll take a peek at the vendor side of things. So we'll just come back here to our users. We'll switch to this vendor. And the great thing with table rate shipping is it works with both WC Vendors Pro and WC Vendors Marketplace, the free version. If you're on the free version, this is what your vendor's backend will look like. And to access their shipping settings, all they have to go is to Shop Settings and then Shipping Tables. And voila, it looks just like it did for the admin. The same functionality here where they can create their own tables, modify them should they need to. Now we'll go here to the front end and we'll look at the WC Vendors Pro dashboard to see what the Pro users would see. So to access it on WC Vendors Pro, you go to Settings and then Shipping, and there it is. Again, it looks very similar. The functionality is all the same. If you want to add a new shipping table, just click Add Table. We'll just call this a test table. And let's see, where would be a good place? Australia. So do that, hit Save Changes. And now you see we've got our table for shipping to Australia. Again, we can click View. We go in here and we can set up our rates. Let's see, we're a long way from Australia, so we'll make these a little more expensive. save those. So as you can see, it's a very easy program to use. Once you get the idea of creating the tables, anybody can go in and do it. We've added in some tools for you to help troubleshoot should your vendors run into any issues. And you can view any of our documentation on thepluginpros.com. Just log in there and go to our documentation link. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email. Thank you for watching and have a great day.